All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. And since there's only two of you, I was going to open it up to kind of have a temperature check to see where certain people were. But I know now that basically with those three categories, we're going to be able to have a great call. So again, my name is Shawn Pollard, and I'm the Director of Sales for MAPS Coaching. This is not a MAPS Coaching sales call. This is absolutely a training call. And I hope that everyone can at least pick up one or two nuggets. We had sent out a video link that has to do with extraordinary change that you can do by breaking down your habits. I would really use this as a resource in the Market Center to talk to people about exactly that, on how they're planning their day and making sure that we are maximizing all of the time that we have during this uncharted time. So I'm going to share my screen on a presentation, and we're going to go in really in three different directions. What I want everyone to know is, by no means am I telling you that I have got, all of this completely figured out. It's always going to be a process of how we're going to continue to support all of our real estate agents in this time. So let's get started off with page one. Your character is not defined by what happens. It is defined by what you do about it. And I really want us to be thinking about that right now, that when we are talking to our clients, when we're talking to our database, when we're talking to other agents, we need to really see where people are before we start engaging them. We want to make sure that we're meeting them with great rapport and a great connection. We've got to also realize that fear is a deeply wired reaction to protect ourselves against any threat. So the way that some people are seeing this current market, it's their fear is wanting them to be protected and wanting them to be as careful as they possibly can, and we have to respect that. We're going to be talking about a couple of books today. We're going to be talking about, of course, Shift, which everyone should be reading now. We're also going to be talking about the MREI. The reason I talk about the Millionaire Real Estate Investor is this is going to be a great opportunity for investors. We need to understand that point of view. And also the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, the first 100 pages are all about mindset of overcoming something that you didn't think you could do. One of my favorite books that has to do with the video link that we sent out is Atomic Habits. If you have not read Atomic Habits, get that on an audiobook or a book as quickly as possible. And it really shows you how to build a very successful day. And then one of my favorites that's going to be really important in this time is The New Gold Standard, which is the book about Ritz-Carlton and how they manage customer experience and service, which is how we're going to create value. What's that? Did you get lost? Shawn, you there?
Me, Shawn?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Okay, I apologize if that was me breaking up. We'll keep an eye on that. You guys let me know.
The last thing I heard you say was Atomic Habits.
Okay, Atomic Habits, which is an outstanding book on how to create action-based behaviors. Also, The New Gold Standard, which is the Ritz-Carlton book. This is going to be the one book that is going to really help our agents connect with their database at an extremely high level with a strong value proposition. So let's get started with our first page here. I'm sorry, I'm slipping around. There we go. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about goal setting and about how we need to improve our goal setting process. I do something called emotional goal setting. So let me explain what the emotional goal setting is to just regular goal setting. We got to be careful of the word goal. Goal is a statement of intent. Objectives are measurable. So when we set goals, we got to get into the root cause of what's going to move us. We got to get into the root of feelings of what is going to move us. So this is what I ask people to do, and this goes into your 411, is first of all, we need to define our deepest fears. Emotion and fear are two strong things that we need to tie together. We need to understand where we are fear-based and then build a plan to get out of being fear-based. So a great example, you hear people say for goal setting, I want to make more money. I want to double my income. I want to be more successful. None of those have any content or measure to the people that are saying them. All they're doing is saying blanket statements of intent. Now, I have one goal around my children's education. I want to make sure all of my kids can afford a college education, or that I am paying for their college education. So that is a concern that I have if I wasn't able to do that. When you really get to the root of it, it's not that I'm just worried about their education. It's that I want to make sure that I have control of my own income. The fear is not having control of my own income. So I have defined what truly is my fear, not having control of my income. And I think a lot of agents could relate to that right now. To repair that, I need to look into other opportunities around this control. I'm going to be looking for investment properties where my two girls are going to school, ways that I can improve their position there and make income while I'm doing that. I can hire and train more talented people, which I'm currently doing on my 411, people that will make more money for our team, in turn for me, just like a real estate team. And I can create new income streams. So I'm already creating different streams for my wife has a real estate, as part of a real estate company that I'm helping to support. I'm working on a profit share model, and I'm also working on exchanging referrals. So you need to repair with action items, and those get built into your 411, as well as with the prevent strategy. So I created a couple of months ago a Saturday mastermind group. I strongly recommend during this time that all of your agents create groups of mastermind where you're having like-minded people get together and talk about what's next conversations. I have created an investment mastermind also, where that's all we talk about, is how to find out what your standard is on an investment and what your parameters of investing are, and then to learn from people that have been there. And then the next step is the personal growth. If you're not filling up your own tank, you can't give to anybody else. So it's books, videos, and podcasts. And right now, if you go on YouTube, you are going to see a plethora of unbelievable videos. So where does this show up in my world? Let's take a look at what a 411 used to look like for me. That was based around just common goals. I would have my annual goals, I'd have my monthly goals, and I'd have my weekly goals. But I didn't have any action items around these. Need the Market Center email from Emily, a marketing girl. Review the $200 commission for the Holds project. All these words like review, need list. These are all not urgency. They're not measurable. And they're just very vague ways to build a 411. Let's move forward now to a couple of months on what my 411 looks like now. And now what I have, and what I urge all of you to think about, is creating a 411 that is real and it is live all of the time and always on your computer. So this is off of the One Thing that Jeff Woods does, the One Thing 411. It's annual goals, professional and personal. It's monthly goals, and it's weekly goals. But if you take a look at what I've done, is I've expanded these columns. So while I have all of the things that I want to do in the year, I've also broken down and defined exactly what those things are. Then as I go through each month, I am updating it consistently. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but we can get you a copy of this and have you and your team start to populate them. I would populate them as a team so that you could really hold each other accountable. And when you see it gets down into the week, I have a great deal of detail. And instead of just reading books, I'm even taking pictures of my notes, and I'm pulling out, like, I'm not just doing activities just to do activities. I'm doing activities to improve my world. Like if you look at my, let's look at my exercise. I want to get back into running for the year. I want to get back into running 17 miles per week. To do that, I want to have 20 hours of exercise, a minimum, per month. So I'm actually measuring myself every single day and updating it. It's 5 hours per week and I keep that updated as well as my diet. So, I mean, every 411, we all are doing 411s, but until the day that you tie it down, like my financial goals, to a real fear, and then you start to put together the repair and prevent tactics, and we can get you copies of all of this. You're not going to hold yourself to them. Never have we had a time when we need to be more clear about what we're afraid of, and then what we're going to do to make sure that that never becomes a fear to us. So the emotional 411, the emotional goal setting, is going to be the cornerstone that we can use not only with ourselves, with our teams and our market centers, and then also even with our clients. When we say things to them like, what is the worst thing that you feel is going to happen? And listening to what they're saying, and then creating a define, repair, and prevent strategy with them. This will change your world, because you will start, if you start updating your 411 every day and you've tied it to measurable goals, you will follow your 411. The next thing I want to talk to us about is our state of mind around this current situation, the current market. There's a great sales term that I used to use in another profession of sales, and it's RPM. And a lot of times people think of RPM as, you know, it's about an engine, and it is about an engine. The R is the reputation that we are setting our standard around. Our reputations can be improving or declining with every single touch. We've got to meet our people and our clients where they are. So reputation is how you should have that in mind. What type of a reputation am I going to leave with this phone call, with this flyer, with this packet, with this social media blast? What is my reputation? 2, what is the product? What is the value proposition, and how are you going to improve on it? Ladies and gentlemen, today more than ever, we aren't real estate agents, or you're not real estate agents. You are local area experts. You are not worried about transactions. You're worried about long-time connections and long-term growth. M stands for market of the moment. How do we stay relevant? Ladies and gentlemen, we got the coronavirus today. What's it going to be in 2 years, in 3 years, in 5 years? This will pass. And we are going to be going up and down with this as we go over. We're going to have uncertainty out there in the marketplace. We need to have a reputation of excellent information. We have to have solutions for people and not always worry about the sell of the actual home. We have to define a value proposition that people can understand, and then we have to adjust to the market of the moment. So what I want us to do is think a little bit about, I have some scripts here that I've just written out around this time, and I've converted these to real estate conversations. Now, my team is making calls into the Keller Williams community, and we need to remind ourselves and check ourselves before we start making calls, or before we write emails, or before we post on social media. Remember, communication is 7% words, 38% tonality, 55% body language, or as I like to call it, energy and rapport on the phone. We need respect for the other person's view of the world at their present time, and know that that changes. Even in good times, your client's view of the world changes from when they sign up to have you list their home to when they go through all of the inspections and they go through the actual sell of the home. We need to be addressing this consistently. Simple scripts that we're using and how you would convert this to the real estate team. And by no means am I thinking that I'm educating your team on how to approach a real estate conversation. I know they're experts. I'm just giving examples on how we are coaching to it. And and remember that confidence is contagious. Good information and good value is what people are looking for. And believe me, our databases, especially after being on lockdown with everyone's families for a while, they're going to be loving a great conversation with somebody that has resources. So I start off with the simple, hello, I am Shawn Pollard with the Dean team. First and foremost, how are you and your family? And then just let it go. Within the first few minutes, you're going to realize, are the people in these three areas: fear? Are they in their absolute outbound activity, or are they stuck? So you can adjust after you listen. Then what I always tell people is this is and as you guys already know, the script of, hi, this is Shawn Pollard. Do you know anyone that's going to buy or sell a home in the next 6 months? Is not relevant today. It is. We are a strategic real estate team with local relationships to assist with any needs that you might have. Our outstanding vendor network is organized as a resource of value to you. Is there currently anything I could do for you? If somebody comes back with, this is absolutely the worst time that you could be calling me, and I'm offended that you are, don't apologize. Just say that you understand that this is not the correct time for them. I will leave you with this packet of specialized vendors, or can I send you an email that are able to assist you with any life-changing event? Please reach out to me if I could be of any further service to you. Or a warm response. We are a local area expert in this city, in this specific location. We are able to provide strategic services with a heart while supporting your family during this time. The bottom line is our team is here to support you as we navigate this situation. Does that make sense? We are coming at this in a whole new way of communicating with our client base. Non-salesy. And if your agents aren't building strong relationships with vendors and making them a value add to their approach, they need to do that immediately. How great would a call with somebody stating that you know an incredible air duct and air conditioning and heating team that could come out and with very little intrusion do an inspection that's open for business right now? What if you had the resources of, extra diapers or extra things that you could provide to clients, coloring books, flowers that are not being used by local florists for senior centers? What vendors can you think of and start making lists as teams to be reaching out of as resources? This is the model that we are going to be moving forward with. Finally, what I want to move into, where we have about 40 minutes, and now I want to work on what we need to do for ourselves. We always think of all these great tactics and all these books that we read. We don't often really put forth the effort to move forward and bring them into our world as far as like an action-based item. This is the absolute perfect time to work on yourself. When you can no longer change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves physically, emotionally, and in our actions right now. So I want us to really be thinking about personal growth. So the rest of this conversation, we're going to be talking about what leaders do in times of change and how leadership is only able to be performed when you have defined what leadership is, that the leadership that you want to have in yourself, in your family, and in your community. So coming from Diana Kokoska, you couldn't have a better person. This comes from our recharge some of these bullet points, which was on leadership in October of 2019. And I dusted it all off because it's never been more relevant. Growth is a noun. It's just a process of increasing in physical size. How are you growing? How are you developing? And how are you increasing your value? Now is a time more than ever that we can't be giving out information that we're not confident about. If you turn on the television around this market, you have people that are hearing different messages depending on which channel they're looking at. We need to see through all of that, and we need to create an absolute clear vision for our clients. We've got to get away from vagueness. We've got to get into things that we know are true and that we know that we can provide for our clients. Growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will be a better day. We want to change. We always want to change when we think it's convenient. Oh, next week, I think I'm really going to hit the database. Next week, I think I'll read that book, or I'll start opening up shift. Are you willing to change right now? Change is inevitable, yet growth is optional. That's the problem. Too many people do not take that option. You can have more than you've gotten because you can become more than you currently are. Are you going to get your fair share or your more than fair share of this marketplace when real estate, this backlog is let loose? We need to remember, folks, in our mindset today, when we're communicating with our clients, real estate, in the history of real estate, it's all been based on one thing that will never change: life-changing events. Some of them are positive. People are making more money, so they're ready for a bigger house. They're having more kids. They're getting that great job opportunity where they're going to be able to move. Yet it also is based off of negative life-changing events: divorce, death, loss of income. All of those things are life-changing events, and you need to show up neutral and as an expert in your area. There is potential and there is unfilled potential. To reach our growth potential, you're going to have to do some work. Okay? You got to work harder on yourself now than you do on your job. You've got to be pouring into yourself physically and mentally over like times like that we're in right now. It's so easy to tell other people to do something, yet it's so hard to tell ourselves to do that and hold ourselves accountable. Going back to the 411, clear up the vagueness, clear up the hesitation, and let's get into action. You cannot give what you do not have. So you've got to have a development plan. You have to put the plan in your schedule. You have to read, listen, and you have to drive into action. You need to have a minimum of 5 pages a day. I go for much more than that. And if you watch that video of how you could do small actions that can make big impacts, I've developed that into my reading plan. Every book that I pick up, I will find the page with the most text, and I'll time myself how long it takes me to read, highlight, and take notes on that. Typically, it's around 50 seconds on any book. Then what I do is I look for 50 minutes within each day that I could squeeze out reading. So if I have 30 minutes in the morning, then I only need 4 5-minute segments the rest of the day, so on and so forth. If you play a game with it, you'll be amazed at how much you can digest in a short amount of time. Maybe it's 20 minutes a day, but don't limit yourself to not reading or not measuring how much you're reading. Stay to a goal. Don't break the chain, and identify 2 areas of growth that you want to make, and then commit an hour a day to that. This could also be physical that can really help you out. A lot of us have uphill dreams and downhill habits. I love that term, and we need to be paying attention to those downhill habits. The next person who talked at Recharge was an amazing person by the name of Jim Davidson. This gentleman is a best-selling author, and he's on multiple adventure shows. He's on I Should Not Have Survived, on a climb. He's a mountaineer, and he's had a couple of unbelievable challenges. Just to give you a little backstory, he was climbing Mount Hood with his best friend. They fell through an ice crevasse that killed his best friend, and he had to climb out of the ice crevasse. This is that I should not be alive. And he was able to save himself, not his friend, but still recover the body. He also went to Everest during the huge Nepal earthquake, and he was on the mountain during that earthquake when there were multiple lives lost, and I talk about an unbelievable amount of fear. This is what he has to say about leadership. You are not conquering a mountain. You are going to change yourself. How do you respond when things go wrong? You can have the skill, the equipment, and the knowledge, and things will still go wrong. When we are short of resources, people, and time, we can get attracted to what we don't have. He says, I have to get out to save you. I have to be better to save other people. He climbed crevasses. He had to fall many times. He was hurt. He was down. He felt like there was no way he was going to do it, but he didn't give up. Good old-fashioned grinding it out is going to get you to the top. We're sometimes climbing in a selfish way that makes you look like you're alone. Yet he was always tied to his dead partner, and he never gave up the fact that that's why he was climbing, to pull him out, to pull, for his family or for their family. He had goals in mind of what his effort was about. You sometimes cannot stop to think about what is going to happen. You have to commit. He owes it to himself and to the families. What am I going to do with myself? And this is what he talks about, staying focused on one thing when challenged. First thing, resilient mindset. Every morning that you wake up, you need to build a resilient mindset. I wake up a little earlier every day, and I now have a pretty much a steady time that I'm waking up. But I do it so that the first 30 minutes, I rewire my mindset. Think about all the videos that you could be watching on YouTube before, with your cup of coffee, before watching the news. What are you watching? How are you rewiring your brain on how you are going to grow. Look for videos on motivation. Look for videos on relaxation. Look for books on people that have been there before, and listens to podcasts about successful people that you admire. Then you have to change and accept. We already know that when we can't change a situation, we can only change ourselves. Then we have to, when we're challenged, we have to embrace the challenge. Lean into the challenge. If people aren't calling their database now, they are not taking advantage of being that local area expert and creating value for our clients. Uncertainty needs perseverance. We're leaders in this organization. We cannot let if we have uncertainty, we need to investigate, clarify, and reorganize. We have to show perseverance to our teams, and we have to show it to our families, to our relationships, our personal relationships. When we have setbacks, then we have to refine our approach. When somebody is upset with something or judging us on something that we've done, all we have to do is accept the setback and then re-engage. This process continues to repeat. Pass on the process to people around you. There's something called PTG, post-traumatic growth. This is actually a good thing. And we're going to have a lot to PTG after we get through this corona virus and this market that we're in the moment. Discover the meaning of what's going on. Are we finding a lot of real estate agents that were swimming naked as these tides of change have gone out? Are we finding people that didn't have a stable business or weren't utilizing their funds correctly? Are we finding people that were building stable businesses and are running a strong P&L? We're finding both. Back to Everest as a lesson in resilient teamwork. Be situationally aware and accept change and adapt fast. Confidence, folks, is contagious. Identify, be rational, use body language, rapport, and reassure people. Clear, calm, and visible. You step up and forward. Be realistic and optimistic. If you get a group of people in a group and someone becomes a leader, you're going to see people move towards that person. If you give clear, reassuring information, and you are rational, people will be attracted to you. They naturally will do that. High performers do more and become more. They work harder, they learn more, they grow more. You will have to go through the ice falls of Everest to get to the top of the mountain. It's not the easiest route. Your journey must go on, and if you suffer, you can get through it. You got to embrace, challenge, adapt repeatedly, refine relentlessly, and spark resilience in your network. Next guy that was at Recharge was talking about leadership, and he talked all about George Washington. George Washington was an unbelievable leader, and Stan started off the conversation of his presentation about leadership by saying anyone that's in this room or anyone that is in the basis of improving themselves is making great choices. Congratulations for reading that book. Pat yourself on the back for spending extra hours on masterminding. Don't be a hypocrite, and don't be somebody that believes that growth is for other people. Be a leader in life. If you don't do it, don't expect anyone else to come and lead from you. Remember that win-win is not what we're really programmed to do. We need to win. We want to always make things fair for everyone while we can all be fair in business. Remember that the world of life and death is a little bit different. You've got to wake up to be faster than the slowest gazelle. And you got to make sure that you are looking for your fair share in this marketplace. You can't expect somebody else to bring it to you. Half of what goes on half of the population will win in life, battle, and business. The other half will play victim. In the real world, the lion gets up to hunt, and his one thing is to be faster than the slowest antelope. The antelope only needs to be faster than the fastest lion. Competition eliminates the weak, and life is not fair, yet it doesn't mean that we have to be unfair. Honesty, integrity, and honor. Compete, rise, and be the best. The disposed came from Europe. Think about what America was built on. It was all the people that had to come over and build their own world. Truly imagine if your religion dictated your safety at that time and how uncertain that was. Remember that the United States of America wasn't built with just all these great, unbelievable ideas. It was really built by a smuggler and a small group of people that wanted to have more fairness with Britain. Learn from both sides of history, the good and the bad. Wisdom comes from experience and bad choices sometimes, and we have the opportunity to make it right. Here are the outlines of what George Washington did hundreds of years ago. He believed in deeds, not words, God and country. He goes down as one of the greatest leaders ever. Good leaders self-evaluate, and they lead from the front. Don't tell people what to do, show people what to do. You hold up the standard. Washington took risks. Training and organization won the war. The fight was inside the human heart. Make your team the best you can, make your team the best it can be, and create your own replacement so that you are moving on to the next job. Light your team's fire and be a lion. Don't be a gazelle. Our next speaker talking about leadership is an incredible woman. This Deborah is unbelievable entrepreneur and a mindset master. So here's the background on her. Her and her husband love challenge. They decided to enter a rowing competition that went from England down to like the Canary Islands, all the way across the Atlantic. The average time that they were expecting it to take would be around 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for teams to make it. She had a couple more struggles than that, and her mindset had to become incredibly resilient. It's great for us to think about people like this in this time. So she talks about priming our brains as we all have oceans to cross. She says, you can rewire your brain. As a leader, you have to. When I am positive, my team will be positive. Top performers, it's 25% skill set and 75% attitude. So as she entered this race to go across the Atlantic, her and her husband had never rowed a boat before, and they only practiced in a river that was right near their house. She was terrified of sharks and being in the vast ocean. The first week, her husband had to get pulled off of the boat due to panic attacks. They asked her to get into the rescue boat, and she refused. She stayed in the boat by herself. While it took all the other teams 2 to 3 weeks to get to the Canary Islands, it took her over 3 months by herself. She first started finding herself focusing on the negative. All she could think about were the negative things. With the help of visualization, she started to think, what's the worst thing that can happen on a scale of 1 to 10? She decided 10, I was going to get eaten by a shark. From there, she was supposed to visualize down, well, if that didn't happen, I'm not at my worst point. So every day she slowly started to rewire her brain. Be the champion of your own movie and run that movie over and over again. What is it going to look like when you make it through this current challenge? What is it going to feel like? And what are you going to be doing and teaching people when you get through this challenge? Focus on your arrival scene, whatever time that's going to be, who you helped, who you led, and who you are, and how you're going to continue to be a leader in real estate. Be positively contagious, especially when everything should be so negative. Absolutely don't fall into the negativity world. You've got to stay strong on that. Shift your perspective and attitude. It will follow. Shift your perspective and your attitude will follow. We are going to be broken at certain times, and that's okay. Let yourself have moments of going down, of being down. Then regroup and stand up. It's okay, no matter what you're feeling. We need to find our memory songs. What are the songs that get you up and going? Are they inspirational songs? Are they gospel songs? Are they rock songs? Find those songs and put them into a playlist and play that playlist when needed, in your car, in your office, before you go to bed, during your workouts. Push to get so far outside your comfort zone that you wouldn't even believe that this is who you were or how you used to think. Shift your comfort zone and jump in, initiate. Then only control the controllable. Don't spend time looking to control what we can't control. Only control the controllable and be passionate about what it would look like to be outside your comfort zone, or for someone else, the comfort zone that you create. Her teacher, when she was young, basically said that she feels that the best profession for her would be to be a school teacher. Now she's written books. She's gone on to form many multiple companies. She hangs out with the royals. And she says that she always wants to jokingly write her former teacher right into a book and call her a stupid bitch because she didn't believe in her. That's her, what she hasn't done it, but that's something that she would like to do. Words are free and you have a never ending supply. Don't be the one passing out whiny vouchers. She was disqualified at the race for taking too long, and she still kept going. They didn't even have the welcome party there. Only her friends and family welcomed her when she finally got to her in destination. It wasn't to her about placing, and she didn't lose this race. She probably won in a much bigger way. She was the only person that rode it solo, and she had never been in a rowing boat until just recently before entering it. Attitude is the one thing you always have a choice about. Pick the right one. Even when she drives to work someday, she gets down and she says, man, I have my Joe. It should be my job. I'm sorry. I was typing some of this out this morning. My job is complete shit, and that's okay. I need to improve it. She has days when she gets down. Everyone does. If you're not leading from reality and getting real and getting right, you're not going to be able to lead people. I talked to my team today about, some of the things that are funny about working at home and some of the struggles that I have to modify. Be real with your people and be real with your database. When you focus on controlling your controllables, also program your future truths. Make sure that you have a future self that you want to be thinking about what they're going to say to you today. In 3 months from now, what's your future self going to say you did well or you did that you should have changed? Your leadership or lack thereof is all in your hands. Really powerful stuff, and people that have been through some great challenge. The next and final one is about, this is about purpose. Joe Champion is the founder of a large church in Texas, and he talks about the power of purpose. Excuse me. We all have to have purpose during a challenging time like this. So the power of purpose, we are working in the most trained organization in the world right now in Keller Williams. We have got more courses, trainings, webinars, books than any other real estate organization. Think of the two perspectives that in people that we're all programmed with. You find people that have a problem mindset and you have people that have a purpose mindset. Hey, even the people that have problem mindsets are valuable people to our team. These are still people we can get into action. These are the people that are the doomsday believers. They believe that, everything is about protection and the worst is always the first to come. We need to remind them to have a purposeful action. In light of that, what can we do to get out of this quickest and in the best way? You're either in or you're out, folks. You got to keep asking yourself, why are you doing this? How does this affect your family, your family's dreams, your family's world? And you've got to stay focused on that. Every day is set up for a moment, and don't miss your moment. We do not find our purpose, we miss our future. If we do not find our purpose, we're going to miss our future. Shift your mind from problem to purpose, or you will fall apart. History was made with purpose, and in our conversations, we need to have purpose. Before they buy from you, they buy into you. You need to show up on all of your calls to your databases with purpose, or to all of your clients or your teammates. You can't mail it in, folks, or expect somebody else to pick it up and lead at this time. During situations like this, there's two things that we always commonly do. We'll start to plateau or flatline. We start to get a little bit burned out. Hey, I'm working from home. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to this market. I don't feel that this is going to be as strong of a market as I had before, and I'm not sure what to do about it. We let our mindset leak out our purpose. We let our minds leak it out, and then we forget and we start to question ourselves. We start to ask, what is my reason? Don't go down with a question mark. It's easy to feel small, yet purpose will keep you from growing smaller. Purpose prepares for the future. Today is going to change. What have you developed to get ready for the winter? Life is going to change. Be prepared for growth, change, challenges, adversity, and opportunity. And let's embrace what the future is going to be. There is going to be a bottleneck of life-changing events, transactions that are going to come out of this current event that we are in, this current pivot. Who is going to be ready and who has created the right value proposition to win at this time? To do this, you must be physically and mentally tough. So you need to take care of yourself, your diet, your habits, and the actions that you're doing to be prepared. If you do not like confrontation, you will not like being a leader. So just get over that. Anytime we make a decision, especially during times like this, we know we're going to alienate some people. We need to not let that get to us, or we are going to upset some people. We need to be strong. So what I want to do now is talk real quick about, I know I'm just, you know, throwing all this out here, and this is the first, I usually do this in a classroom setting. It's a lot more interactive, but make sure on my desk, I'm always keeping this book to make sure that I'm always coaching my team from the Shift book, because Gary Keller and, you know, the amount of highlights and notes in this are unbelievable. This is the book right here, Atomic Habits, which is absolutely phenomenal, by James Clear. I would get that on audio or on book, in a book. And this is the book, The New Gold Standard. Real estate and the way that we do real estate will be changing forever. And I don't know all of the X and O's on where that's going to end up. The one thing I do know is that if we provide great value and clarity to our local markets right now, we are going to win in a major way. But to do that, we're going to need to invest in ourselves, and we're going to need to hold ourselves accountable, and we're going to need to be leaders, not just at work. We're going to need to be leaders inside of our family and our personal relationships and inside of our own mind to be successful. So we have we have the opportunity to share 411s with you. We can absolutely go through any questions that you have on my 411. If I could pull it up for you. But let's just have some thoughts back and forth on things that some of your agents, I see we have a few people that have joined. I got Paul and Shelly and I think it's Tatiana. If you guys would be so kind as to go to audio or video, and why don't you share a little bit about, I'm not giving you anything that I think is you have to follow, but what are your thoughts about things that you're up against and things that you're doing to win in this current environment?
I'll just say that we have to up our communication with our folks, you know, whether it's buyers and sellers, if we're an agent, or if we're in leadership with our agents, and getting clarity around their minds, you know, their mindset, so that we can help understand. So come from curiosity. Mm-hmm. Hey, Paula.
Hi.
How you doing, Paula?
I'm well, thank you. You're very correct about mindset. And I'm a brand new agent. So all my leads were coming from open houses and door knocking. So that's a little bit of taking a hit. And I just lost my first deal. It just fell out of escrow yesterday, and the contingencies were going to come off today. So I was convinced that it was going to happen. So I just had to sort of say, okay, pull yourself together and get on with it. So I'm just trying to, I've done a little bit of printing up some postcards that I've been just sticking indoors, not knocking on doors, just trying to keep my name in front of the people in my farm. And I'm trying to concentrate on learning the CRM and learning the software, so that I'll, you know, have a much better mastery of that. And then just trying to tune in for all these sort of educational Zoom meetings. And, you know, I'll probably be downloading that book as soon as I get off this call. So that's where I am.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate you being so open. And I mean, we're all going through the same things that you're going through. And I think one of the neatest things, and we did it today on my call with my team, we all were just kind of being real with where we're at. We all know what we have to do. You know, I was really open with my team, like, this is uncharted territory for us. So here's some of the great things that I'm hearing from agents, and believe me, I'm hearing it all. I'm making a lot of calls to agents right now. You have agents that are like in market centers that are almost attacking each other because of how they all view this. Some agents are saying we should set the standard and not be going out and communicating with our database. We should be following the lockdown rules and not calling our database. Other people, like I talked to an agent yesterday, she creates causes around this. She found a food truck that was about to go out of business and they were posting it on social media. She went to her database through Messenger and asked people who likes this food truck and who would like her to go pick up food. She took her credit card and got 15 people meals and delivered them at their doorstep for her database. She then took it one step further and contacted a local florist. The florists right now are all canceling, all the weddings are getting canceled. She made a deal that she could pick up all of the flowers they had pre-bought for free or at no very little charge. And she dropped them off at a senior center and did it on a Facebook Live. The amount of social media traffic she's creating is unbelievable. Now, some people are going to be, you are stupid to be out driving around. You're not following the rules. That's okay. Whatever anyone's view on this is, I saw this kid at the store buying 15 huge 2-liter bottles of Mountain Dew. In his mind, he needed to get all that Mountain Dew. He was worried somebody was going to buy that. It's okay, whatever you're going through. Just make sure that you're doing are the actions that are going to be best for you. If we can take the judgment, I've had people say, I can't believe that you're calling me because I'm talking about the new offer that Gary Keller has. 2 free months of coaching for an annual contract or 50% off on April and May, and you can cancel at any time. So I'm out letting people know about that. I'm letting them know about all the great group courses. There's 50 Facebook sales in 50 days. Pretty relevant right now. But I've had people say to me, I can't believe that you're calling me. And I'll just say, I always start with their family. I say, I completely understand that this isn't a good time for you. This is what my job is. And this is what we need to be doing. We're always going to have people that are going to look at any action or non-action and be judgmental, and we can't do that.
That's awesome. I'd also say, Paula, is in regards to your actions of going out and feeling like you needed to touch your farm's not going to forget about you in 30 days.
Okay. Yeah.
So it all starts with our language, and I'm not judging for you what you said. That's great that you took action. I want to applaud you for taking action. And just, your language of my farm, like the feeling that your farm is going to forget about you in this period, you don't have to worry about that. They're not going to forget about you.
Okay.
So take and look for other ways that you can generate leads so that when, things like this happen, you're not beholden to just getting business from your farm.
Right.
And Paul, what I would do today is I would send out an email where in the subject line, it would say something like, hey, I just want to see how you and your family are doing and let you know that I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Think about those words that people do want to hear. I have been on the phone with agents for I talked to one guy yesterday for over an hour, and it wasn't about MAPS coaching. It wasn't about, any intent. It was just getting him organized. I'm going to tell you something else that happened. When we're reaching out to our database, our people need to hear from us in a big way. So I called an agent in Chicago, and my timing couldn't have been better. 5 minutes before I called, her assistant, this was last week, her assistant came into the office with flu-like symptoms, coughing, sneezing, achy body, and she lost it. She said, get out, go take the corona test. They found a place for her to go, and she was sitting in that office in those 5 minutes before I called, paranoid. So all we did is I just said, hey, let's calm down and let's think about, this is pretty simple. One of two things is going to happen. She's either going to be positive or negative. And then this is what we could do to react to that. She was so thankful for that 30 or 40 minutes. Think about what you could provide for people even over the phone or Zoom.
Yeah. I have such a small database because I don't have that many leads. So it's very easy for me to actually write individual emails to everybody in my database. And that's what I've been doing. And people have been responding really well and just saying that they're really really appreciative that I reached out to them.
Yeah. There's a lot of agents doing neat things like that. I know, I heard from my team that there's an agent that has got a whole bunch of diapers and is sending out notes to the database of anyone that has kids or just your database saying, if anyone needs these, I will drop them at your door and with no charge, nothing. I mean, what great ways to serve your community. The flower idea I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that you do right now that could really be construed as wrong. It's about just taking the action.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, Tatiana.
I have a question. I have been contacting my database, and everyone pretty much, they're thinking of me. Oh yes, she's my realtor. No, I'm not interested in selling my home right now. I'm not thinking of doing any real estate transactions, and I'm just trying to keep my job at this time. Pretty much that's what I get. The way I approach them, how are you? Is there anything I can help you with? What do you need? And their response is, oh yes, she's my realtor. How can I overcome that or shift it? Because exactly what you're saying, yeah, we're here to help them. We are the experts. We're the local expert that we have a lot of people on our team that we can help in many ways. And even if we cannot help them directly, but we will find a way or a person that they can help them.
I love that. I mean, it's so simple. And the script, I don't think is ever going to change. I think we're going to come out of this with such a more clear vision around not being scripted and just really saying, how can I serve you? I really believe that being a realtor, you're dealing with 95% of the American population's #1 financial asset that they have. That's never, and it's never going to become more relevant with everybody refining and all these things. If you could build up that great list of outstanding vendors that you know are certified great white glove people, how wonderful can you reset yourself as the not a realtor, a service provider?
Okay. Yes.
Remember, confidence is contagious. It doesn't mean that tonality. It's amazing what happens when you listen. So if we role played how all my calls go, it's, hey, this is Shawn Pollard calling on behalf of Keller Williams. First and foremost, I just want to know how you and your family are doing. And that goes into a very long conversation, because when you say that to somebody, the first thing they say is, thank you very much for the call. You know, what else do you have to say except for that? So then it leads, and then that's, I've worked with my team. You're going to find the doom and gloomers that can't get past that. You're going to find the people that are going after this thing at a high level, and then you're going to find the group I'm really concerned with are the people that are stuck. And that's where then I'll just share best practices, share group coaching courses, share the coaching that we can get, and really just energize them and say, this is the time. We all know that we're going to get through this. And I always say, when people are in real fear-based, wouldn't it be a lot worse if we weren't taking these actions on locking down and being protective? What if we were all just going out there doing our business like we used to? That scares me.
Yes.
This might be frustrating, but Seth, we're going to get through this.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, guys. So listen, I am here. Rich and I are real good buds, and anything that you need from us, Frankie and Daniel are here. We're here to support you. That's really it.
I appreciate it. You said you'll be sending out an email with your 411.
Correct. I think I'll have it. I'll have it probably blank. But you saw the example. I guess I could send out I'm pretty much an open book. If you guys could get people to start really doing 411s at a high level and not that vague, I have a goal, and then think about asking yourself this. All of you guys write down this question today, and then start thinking about a 411. What are the 3 things I'm most fearful of? And fear isn't a negative thing. People see fear as being weak. It's not that at all. Everyone has fear. It's what we do with the fear that changes our mindset. So write down things that you are truly afraid of, and then dig into them. Don't just make it be, like I said, I need more money, or my relationship, my personal relationship might fail, you know, or I might need to find a different career, or I might need to build a bigger team or get rid of some of the people on my team. I'm afraid of not hiring or hiring. Write that down and then get to the root cause of what that really is. It's your lack of control in that area or lack of education. Then put a plan together on how you're going to repair that and prevent that from ever happening again. And you'd be amazed at what you do with your life. If we all start doing that, amazing things will happen. So do that, and then you know, reach out to us and let us know how we can help. Okay.
Thank you so much, Shawn. And
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys.